The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
As a small biz pro, that's how we roll. Using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, that's how we grow. Using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah. Crystal Mitchell, do you have
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And for those of you who are just tuning in, hooray! I finally got hooked up to social media.
Whoa, man. Whoa.
So now I'm live on Facebook.
It took you a minute. You were resistant.
Took me a minute.
But you know, you can't be resistant
I can't resist it
with
anymore.
social media because it's here to stay.
It's here to stay.
It's actually been here for 20 years. But
I know.
It's here to stay.
So we just, as small businesses, we just got to embrace social media. So I'm embracing it.
Well, I am glad to hear that. You will make your way and you'll learn more about it, but it's not a scary thing.
Oh,
it's a
yes.
good thing.
Oh, yes.
And once you get really popular and really get on it, then Facebook will kick you off from time to time.
Oh,
I'm
really?
kind of like in a partial.
Because you're so good.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm so opinionated. So I'm in a partial doghouse kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm a smart cookie, so I didn't figure out how to do it, and I'm not telling them how I'm doing it. But from time to time, they kick me to the curb. So.
I hear that. Now, for those of you who are just tuning in, this is the Business Zone. It's the #1 video radio show that is geared towards small businesses. What we do, we provide services, we provide tips, advice, training online for small businesses. So it's like having a workshop live on the air. Crystal and we're doing this because we love taking care of small businesses. We're advocates.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to call in and you want to contribute, you want to share your opinions, you want to give us some advice too, we're open to advice as well. Our phone number is 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375. And this is live, so you can call, you can get your opinion heard.
And actually today is a good day because we have class and session today. We don't have a guest today. So every now and then I think it's necessary that we share some of our expertise on the platform. So it's kind of good when there's no guests. And so today that's what we're doing. So our topics today, when we get into our topic, is going to be effective business strategy, and identifying ways in which you should be looking at right now for that strategy. And one of the reasons I did that, I thought about that topic today, was I met with a couple clients this week to do some bookkeeping or fix some books and stuff, and to address some other issues they had. And as they're telling me what was going on, I'm listening to them going, so you did this, this, and this, and what was the strategy behind it, and what was the outcome, and what were you looking to do?
Exactly.
They were like, we don't know.
Yeah.
We just did it. So, and that was like 2 or 3 clients, the clients that I've had all week. And it's like, okay, so you got to have a strategy. You just can't be throwing things up at a dartboard and going, oh, that one stuck. Let's try that one. And
can't operate all willy-nilly.
You can't all willy-nilly. And it's so far away from their vision, so far away from their mission statement.
Exactly.
And they're throwing money at this, whatever this is they're doing.
Right.
So that was one of the reasons I thought.
So class is in session today. Today, Crystal and we're going to share 6 tips for you. We call them steps, but 6 tips in helping your business to operate effectively and having an effective strategy. Yes,
for sure. Hey, Ed, thank you. Hey, Calvin, welcome. Hey, Rhonda. And Gerald, glad you're back in town. That's anybody coming in on your Facebook Live over there?
Not yet.
Not yet, done it?
Not yet.
So, before we jump into our topic,
Yes.
it's just been the DC has been
On fire.
on fire.
It's on fire.
It is on fire. I don't know. It looks like, my sister has always said she didn't want the impeachment because that would mean that you would have the whole rest of the administration. It looks like we may not have to worry about that. Looks like the whole entire administration may be gone, with him because they are just. I almost get the impression this is like a child who is trying their parent or their mother. Forget the parent, their mother. And they keep doing stuff,
doing bad
pushing
things.
her until she is like,
okay, I've had enough.
You got one more time. So when she says the one more time, you got a half a second before you duck because she about to level you.
The shoe's going to come flying.
The shoes, the belts, whatever she can put her hand on. And as children of black people, black women, you know exactly what that meant when they gave you that look.
You get that look,
and their hand was halfway on what they're about to knock you off your block with. You knew, okay, I done gone too far.
That's right.
And I think he's gone too far. But I also think that my mother used to say this about my sister, my younger sister, not my middle sister, but if I give you an inch, if you give her an inch, she'll take a mile. So you give him, with the Mueller thing, they gave him like 500 inches. Or they actually gave him 10 miles. And now he didn't just lost his darn mind. He didn't lost his mind. He calling out for everybody to get involved.
Crazy.
And the sycophants that operate with him. So it's going to be interesting. But I did hear something yesterday that was it. It was a podcast I was listening to, and they were asking a question. Once this, because something's going to happen. He's either going to be impeached or he's going to resign, but he's leaving. Because now we done got into some national security stuff, and this is just blatant. So I don't think he's going to get out of this. I really don't think so. But the question is, how do we revert back? How do you fix what he's broken?
Well, it's easy. What Congress needs to do is to come together, pass laws to protect those type of issues that were at stake. That's really what it is, because most of the laws that's on the book, it's been passed by Congress. So that's what they need to do right now. I mean, they didn't think that some of this will be so blatantly abused. So now they're recognizing that this is happening. And a lot of the rules or expectations were just things that were said and things were expected. They weren't really laws. Some of them were not really laws.
Yeah, now they have to be made into
now
laws.
They got to make them into
not
laws.
indicting a sitting president needs to be a law.
Yeah, they need to.
They're making sure it's very, very clear. You cannot, although that is a law and that is against the law, that you can't reach out to foreign countries to ask for help when you're doing. And also the emolument clause should be a law.
They got to make it very clear.
Yeah, it's got to be very...
No gray areas.
Yeah, no gray areas, because this person then went around into the gray areas. So, so that's going to happen. But the other question someone asked is, they were saying the repair from the foreign international waters will happen before the domestic. Because some of the stuff that has gone on, the wall, I mean, just the complete division between Americans based upon color.
And it's going to take a while.
That's going to take a long time. To be repaired, to be able to push it back in. Because it ain't never been, it's always been there. But now you got to push it back down into Pandora's box.
Exactly.
Because Pandora's box was opened, and it's going to be kind of crazy. So that was kind of interesting. And so now Washington was crazy. But what about Dallas?
I haven't heard about Dallas.
Oh, you haven't heard with the young lady, the police officer that shot the black guy that was they were Haitian, and then his brother yesterday forgave and went and hugged her, and the judge gave Bibles and
that's just out of control.
Yeah, that's out of control. That's us at a whole nother kind of level.
That's out of control. That's out of control, and I personally believe that if they're doing that for one group of folks, they should do it for all. You
But
can't,
yeah,
you
right.
can't, separate or handpick how you're going to treat certain groups.
But I don't think that's what it was. I think there's something that, and I don't know as much in the islands as much in the United States, that slavery's impact was different here than it was where, let's say, in Jamaica or Haiti.
Yeah.
But here, we were the whole Jim Crow, the whole Willie Lynch a letter was all based upon making you apologize for making them uncomfortable. And so
if I slap you in the face, then the concept is you should apologize to me for slapping you.
Yes.
That is crazy.
Whatever I did, I am so sorry for making you slap me in the face. That only happened here in America.
So let's look at this a different way. Since we know that banks don't like to give loans or lines of credit to small businesses. Right. So as a small business, we should go out there to all these banks and apologize. We should go, oh, banks, we are so sorry that we did what we did, so you won't give us any money.
Right, exactly. That's the concept. That is the concept. So whatever you've done, whatever hasn't worked for you, and someone else is in control of it, then the concept is forgive them.
Yeah.
And apologize for whatever you have done.
That's not a bad idea.
Well, that's a theory, but that don't work.
That's not a bad idea. Maybe what we should do, Crystal, as small businesses, we should go to these contract providers, the Metro, the LAUSD, the LACCD, the City of Los Angeles, all of these entities, and say, you know what, contract providers? We are really, really sorry that you haven't awarded us any contract as a small business, because we may have done something wrong in the past that really offended you.
Right.
So with that being said, now that we've apologized,
where's my money?
Can we get our contracts now?
Right, give me your contract. Yeah, that's supposed to be the concept. So that's what that was the analogy they got. And they told a story. This was Dr. Claude Anderson. I was listening to him on Dr. Boyce Watkins, and Dr. I don't know if you've ever read any Dr. Anderson's book. He wrote Powernomics.
I've heard of that.
His books are really, really powerful, and he's a historian. So he's gone in and done some major research. Yeah. So he has two books. There's volume 1 and 2 called The Dirty Little Secrets. Yeah. And so one of them, he talks about this yesterday in the fact that there was these guys, police officers, had gone out and they were accosting or harassing these two young black men. Yeah. And so they, doing what they do. Yeah. And so they hit him with the butt of the gun and hit him so hard that it broke the butt of the gun.
Wow.
And then the police officer or sheriff or whatever he was said, the little end broke his head so hard he broke my gun. And then that person, because we're in the South, they kind of like he literally crawled to the butt of the gun and pulled it up and got on his knees and said, I am sorry that my head is so hard.
Really?
And here's your thing so you can fix your gun.
He really did?
Yeah. So that's how we've been culturized to do that. That's not a joke. That really is the truth. And so during slavery, that's what it was. You had to apologize. Whether he was beating you, if he was, it's like a battered, to this day. Yeah. It's like being a battered wife, right? Yeah. That's the same techniques they use. It's because that's the verbal abuse, and that's the psychological abuse, right? Wow. So so when I look at us, and so now I'm gonna switch it over to us doing business, right? Yes. So when we think about that, we're so timid. Yeah. In how we do business.
To be assertive.
Right. And, when you look at people who are really, really successful at business, there is no timidness.
I know.
You have to be straightforward.
You got to be firm and strong.
Firm and strong.
Assertive.
People do business with people who are firm and strong.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. You can't be a weakling.
You can't be a little weakling.
No.
So, well, when you think about it, when we look about, because remember that time I read that the tapestry of business, and it was showing how our income, the 23,000 for a single.
Right.
So then you have to look at an overall. You have to look at the big picture.
Yes.
And you have to realize, because you have to say, okay, even if we don't get loans, even if we don't get all of the resources, there are other groups that don't get the resources. I mean, we're not the only one.
Right.
Right. The Asians, they same thing. They just
Latinos.
It took a minute.
Yeah.
And Asians just went and created their own stuff.
Yeah.
But we're timid. I mean, how many clients of yours have you suggested something and they look at you like, and they're not going to do it, and you feel the fear.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So from a business standpoint, for us, that's how we have to look at that.
Yeah.
Is like we have to build them up, and I guess that's where coaching comes in.
Right.
So out of anybody that's in business that needs a coach, it is Black people.
And I think that's why these 6 strategies that we're going to share today is going to be so helpful to these small businesses.
Yeah.
And all of you are listening today, I really, really want you guys to take a look at the 6 tips that Crystal and I are going to disseminate to you today on this show, this radio show, The Business Zone. So do you want to go ahead and take a quick break?
Yeah, let's take a break, and then we'll jump back on in and discuss our 6 tips.
Yeah, we'll take a break right now. You're listening to The Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. If you want to give us a call, or a phone number here is 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375. Take a break.
All right.
Small businesses spend more than $500 million each year combined trying to find missing or replace missing paperwork. Hey small businesses, are you tired of losing out on business opportunities because your paperwork is not in order? And don't you hate having to register in multiple websites just to find a single procurement opportunity that may not even be worth your time? Well, worry no more. Small Biz Pro is the solution to your problems. Small Biz Pro is an all-in-one cloud-based business management, compliance, and procurement assistance software platform that keeps small businesses organized, contract-ready, bank loan-ready, with quick access to procurement opportunities, as well as market research data. Here are some of the features and benefits that you receive when you use Small Biz Pro to run your business daily. Superior record keeping at your fingertips, back office management and compliance, quick access to bids and procurement opportunities in government databases. It allows you to conduct easy market research and gather industry statistics, government certification preparedness and compliance checklists, easy HR and general operations management functionality, bank loan readiness preparation and cash flow management, certified payroll and labor compliance reporting, business dictionary with defined business terms, a cloud-based business management platform that keeps small businesses organized and ready, even nonprofits, business documents securely stored in the cloud, data fully encrypted and protected by triple firewall reinforcements, on-the-spot document retrieval for quick decision-making, bank-level data security for compliance, document expiration alerts and advanced notifications. It uses security restrictions to block out unauthorized users, and much more. Try it out today for only $5 for the first 30 days. What are you waiting for? Go to www.smallbizpro.net and register now, or your competitors will. Small Biz Pro, keeping small businesses organized, business ready, and contract ready.
So we're back on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan. And today, like we said earlier, small biz pros out there, we've got 6 pointers we want to share with you in order to help your business to become more effective. Crystal, I'm going to list the 6 of them, and then I'm going to have you go into each one, and then we'll just go back and forth.
And so we want to preference it with,
yes,
when we look at life, because this everybody does, right?
Yes.
When you get in your car,
Yes.
and you're heading wherever you're heading, you look up the address. You use your navigation. Now that we all have a navigation
right.
on our phones,
That's
we do
right.
not. I mean, even to go around the corner, you pretty much are using your
Oh, yes.
navigation.
Oh,
And if
yes.
you're going long distance trips or you're planning a trip, what are you doing?
Put it in your GPS and you organize yourself, your strategies and everything.
Right. So that's where we're going with this, guys, from a business standpoint. You have to plan it just like you were planning your vacation.
Yeah.
If you were going to the hospital, you have to do planning in order to make sure everything is being
That's
taken
right.
care of. So there's nothing that we do that we don't plan.
That's right.
Except for business.
Exactly.
Okay, so I just wanted to set the perimeter up.
That's a very good way of putting it. And just so you know, on this show, when Crystal and I disseminate information, the information we disseminate is going to be so simple, in such simple format. It's not going to be all too high level, too sophisticated, because we believe in simple. What we disseminate is going to be simple information that everyone can relate to.
Right.
So with that being said, there are six parts to the business effectiveness that we want to go over today. And the first part is going to be gather facts. The second will be to develop a vision statement for your business. The third will be to develop a mission statement for your business. And we're going to go over each and every one of those. The fourth will be identify strategic objectives for your business. The fifth is developing a tactical plan for your business. And finally, number 6 is performance management. How are you going to manage the performance of your business? So with that being said, Crystal, do you want to take on number 1?
Yeah, so let's talk about gathering facts for your business. So I don't know if those of you, when you started your business, if you wrote a business plan, because that was the beginning of those gathering those facts. You're gathering current, historical, political, whatever, everything that it takes, marketing. You're identifying who your customers are, your demographics,
technological,
technology, your technical, what you need for technical purposes. How you're going to your distribution channels, all of those things you have to research, but you don't just do it one time.
No,
because your business is always evolving.
It's ongoing. It's an ongoing process.
Right. So you have to continue to go back and look.
Yes.
And then your fact gathering, you have a baseline that you can always go back to, and then it can help you gauge whether you're moving forward or you're stagnant or you're going backwards. Now, I don't know how many of you, so this is on Facebook Live and also on in the audience, how many of you know what a SWOT is?
Yes. How many of you know what a SWOT analysis is?
It's spelled SWOT. It's analysis. And this is a tool and a technique that you can use to determine what your strengths are, to identify your strengths, to identify your weaknesses, to be able to know what opportunities out there so you don't lose out, because the opportunities are actually your money. And so you need to be able to know how to act on them as you've done your research. And finally, in that SWOT analysis is your threats.
Right.
What is threatening your business? So when we look at business today, and we use this all the time, when the marketplace was changing, Blockbuster, right? When Netflix came on board, the Red Box came on board, that was a major threat, but they didn't think of it as a threat.
No.
So that's the other thing. A lot of us, we have a lot of ego, and we figure we're the only man on the block, and that our business is going to stay consistent forever, and nobody can threaten us because we just got the best business or the best tool or the best products or the best service on the planet.
The worst thing you can ever do is underestimate your competitors. or people that you perceive as not being competitors. You overestimate them, or you underestimate them, rather.
You underestimate them.
That's not a good thing. Right. So we're going to start from the S for the SWOT, and we're going to take it right down for you. Right. Okay? Exactly. Remember, we're in the gathering of facts stage. So when you're gathering facts, in item number one that says gather facts, and you use your SWOT analysis to gather that fact. So let's look at the S for strength.
Right.
What type of strengths? How strong is your business? What type of strength does your business bring to the table?
Exactly. So that's what are you good at? What that you may the advantage that only your business has, that you can solve whatever those pain points are, right? So you want to recognize this is a time to pat yourself on the back.
That's right.
Right? So you look back over your historical data, and you see what has worked and what has worked well. You look at your testimonies, what people are complimenting you on. You also even go, I think, you drill down to what are the services that people call you for the most, and then in this new world order of social media, when this happened to me one time, they were saying there's a saying that you've made it when you go into a room and somebody is asked to introduce you. They don't ask you for your bio because they already know what you are and who you and what you do. So these people are telling you what you're good at. Right. So those you want to drill down to that level on what people think that you're good at. And that most of the calls you get are calls that say, "Can you help me do this, this, and this?"
That's right.
So there's certain things that you do.
Yes, and also with your strengths, here's what you want to do with your strengths. Okay, the question is, what is it you're good at? What is it that brought you into the marketplace? Because obviously the reason you decide to start your business is because there's a pain in the marketplace that you can solve.
Right.
And the reason you can solve that pain is because you have a secret sauce that your competitors don't have. That's your strength.
Yes.
So what is it? Is it your experience? Is it expertise? Is it a secret ingredient? Is it a strategy? Is it a system, a platform? It's a secret product?
Right. It's what you always say, your unique selling proposition.
Your unique selling proposition.
Uniquely is identified, almost like you've been branded.
Yes.
And this is but at the same time, things can change.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So,
and you want to be cognizant of
that. So you may have to go back and tweak that secret sauce, add a few more ingredients because the ingredients are now causing cancer or high blood pressure or heart disease. So you got to go back and tweak.
That's a very good point you brought up, Crystal, because with me and my platform that I use to help small businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready, it's called Small Biz Pro. So when I developed Small Biz Pro about 3-4 years ago, the system was designed to do business management, procurement, market research. But then as I go along and I'm seeing the pain points of some of my clients, now I'm tweaking that system to resolve some of their pain points. And some of that is including a capability statement builder. So it can build a capability statement for them in 30 minutes or less. It also has a calculator where you can put your balance sheet, your profit and loss in, and it calculates for you. So this is totally different than when I first started. So it's the same thing with you and your business. As you observe the market and you want your competitors, you're going to see areas in which you can add things to your strengths to your secret sauce to enhance it.
Right, exactly. And at the same time, if you're very good at what you do, there's somebody out there ready to duplicate you.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
So you gotta amp up your game to your grade, your AA plus A.
Yes.
So even though, we're business coaches, we still have to have something very unique to us.
Yes.
And even me, even though I do it differently, the one thing that is unique to me in our community, I'm really the only one that have the number of years using a product, an accounting product, and there ain't nobody else out there.
That's right.
And have done what I've done with it. And because I started very early, my business started 20-something years ago, I have actually helped of all kinds of business, from nonprofits to Fortune 500 to publicly traded companies, and each one does something different.
Right.
So I'm bringing to the table all of that experience on how I managed those books and how I did, which is why I can teach how to start a business, because it all starts with the core of the spending and the pricing and all that sort of stuff.
And you work with so many startups, so many existing businesses.
Exactly.
And just so they know, Crystal is amazing at accounting, bookkeeping, and that process. She not only does she teach it, but she also does that work for different organizations, nonprofits, for-profits, you name it. So remember, what we're saying to you is someone is always out there waiting to take your lunch from you.
Right. Yeah, they're sitting there right there looking and monitoring. You may not be monitoring to you, but I can bet they monitor you.
Oh, they're monitoring you. They may not say anything. You may not know that they're watching and observing what you're doing in the marketplace, but real quietly, they're just waiting to take your lunch.
They're waiting. They're ready to pounce. Soon as they see which is the next one, weakness.
Yes.
Soon as they see that weakness, then they're ready to pounce in to make, and they've created something. Someone said, yes, she is. They're ready to pounce in on that space where you're weak in. So you have to identify what you need to improve in, because you're on version 3.0 in Small Biz Pro.
And still building.
And I'm like on version 4.0 because my business is affected by how you make your money.
Oh, yes.
So in 2008, obviously money was gone.
Yes.
So then I had to go back and figure out some other skills, but I have a whole bag of tricks.
Oh, yeah.
So I just had to know which one to dust off and put back on the table.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I pull them in and out, so whenever I need them and whatever I need. So you also need to identify what you need to avoid, what's not working.
Yeah.
If you had a product and you had this business 10 years ago, and let's use, for example, cell phones and pagers.
Yeah.
Well, you knew when to shelve the pager, right? Because it made no sense anymore.
Makes no sense.
It always made no sense to me to have and we all had pagers, right? Yeah. But I had my pager. Somebody's blowing you up on the pager. You're on the freeway. Yeah. I have no way to call them back.
Right.
They are losing their mind. But what am I supposed to do? Pull her off the freeway to make a phone call? Are you nuts?
Exactly.
So being able to know that you can't keep marketing a product that there is no interest in. I don't care how much passion you have it, how much you are attached to it. Yeah. If nobody's buying it, no one's spending hard-earned green money at the present moment. We haven't got the crypto. We're getting there.
Got to change your strategy.
If they're not spending money on it, then you need to shelve it.
You got to shelve it. So you're looking at weaknesses now?
Yeah, that was the weaknesses. Okay. So it kind of blended in.
Yes.
And and again, it comes down to pain points. What do people need? It's not about you.
It's not about you.
It's about your customer. What are their pain points, and what do they need most to solve? Create a solution for their problem.
Just remember that you're in business, and a lot of people say this over and over. And Crystal and I, we try to correct small businesses so they understand. You're not necessarily in business to make money. That comes afterwards.
Yes.
You're in business to solve a pain in the marketplace, and you're there to solve it better than your competitors.
Which will bring the money.
You see what I mean?
If you're doing what you're supposed to do, it will bring the money.
So keep that in mind.
So keep that. And so then next, that takes us right into opportunities, right?
Opportunities.
If you have to shelve certain products that was generating revenue for you, now you need to go back and decide and look at what are the opportunities that you can spot on.
Right.
And sometimes these opportunities materialize out of something that could be kind of tragic.
In a lot of ways.
Yes. It could be something that, is a pain. It's painful to even do.
That's right.
I mean, but look at the mortuary business.
Yeah.
On the backside, somebody has to die for somebody to bury you,
That's right?
So you got to look for those opportunities.
Exactly.
So another thing you're researching is, what are the new trends?
Yeah, trends are really important to opportunities. Very important.
And so let's take the gig industry.
Yes.
That's all based upon opportunity, right?
Yes.
We have a population of millennials and Gen X's that unlike ourselves, we all got our licenses. We were all excited and ecstatic about getting our driver's licenses, saving your money to buy a car.
Right.
This particular group don't necessarily want to drive.
They don't care about
because they were chauffeured their whole entire lives by their parents, the Uber drivers then. So now that was why Uber and Lyft came along, because this is a population that doesn't want to drive.
And that's an opportunity.
And that was an opportunity. So they looked at that. So now there's some new changes going on. And there's some other things, because now in Los Angeles, not necessarily anywhere else, but in Los Angeles, because we're creating this very expensive metro train. So now I saw yesterday, and this is why trends are important. You need to watch news channels. You need to make sure the feeds that you're following are coming in with what's current.
Exactly.
So last night I was watching the news, and because we're building this big people mover down at the airport, and so Lyft and Uber has, they've been making their money at the airport, which really all transportation, taxis, that's really where they make their big money, right? So now they want to push them back to a parking lot, and the people mover or a shuttle has to take the people, take the passenger, you come off the plane, put you on a shuttle, and then take you to the Uber. Well, how many people really going to want to do that, right? That's like three pieces of different transportation. You didn't just come off on a flight.
No.
So again, not thinking about the people, but the city is always thinking about the money that they're investing.
Looking at opportunities. A lot of these opportunities that you can obtain within your business is also online. Look at how can you market online? How can you enhance that? And one of the things that Crystal talks about a lot on this show is increasing your revenue, your stream of revenues. Increase that. So if you're doing transactional business, door to door, or people walking into your store, then what other line of business can you add to your repertoire? Oh, maybe I can add contracts. Or maybe I can add online service.
Or maybe I've been in this business for 30 years and I have a lot of experience, so maybe I should be a consultant.
There you go.
Right?
There you go.
And maybe, wow, I'm very good with customer service, and I've trained and taught my employees, and they're just stellar.
Yes.
Maybe I could go to businesses very similar to mine and offer consulting or training classes or patent a software or some sort of technology that will be able to that someone else can license. So these are the things, and I know this is this is just what we do. So we're always thinking this way. But you have to really think outside.
Hi, Sharon.
Hey, Sharon, you got to think outside of the box, right? And so with that is exactly right. So other opportunities could be technology, markets that are broad and narrow scale, and also changing in government policies, just like I just talked about, and that relate to your field, and as well as the changes in social patterns, population profiles, lifestyle changes, and so on, and then local events. So you really never, just because you've written that business plan, if you wrote that business plan, just because you wrote it when you first started your business, then you don't want to think that it's a living organism, and it's constantly. Oh, you brought him in as a watch, So now you're gonna have him talking to you. So those are the things that you really need to look at. So now let's talk about threats.
Yes, let's talk about threats,
because threats are important. What are the obstacles that are coming up? Like right now in real estate, we have some issues. I mean, there's a very small, in Los Angeles, they're building all of these huge properties for people to live in, to rent, but they're not building new homes. So now the investor consumer who wants to build their portfolios, you're not going to be able to buy a house.
Exactly.
Because there's no property out there.
Can you hear this noise in your headset? Okay. So Small Biz Pros, I'm hearing a lot of noise in our headset right here. So I'm going to try to put most of you on mute just so we can deliver the show to you, so you can get the tips that we're trying to disseminate. But by no means are we trying to tell you to get off. We want you to stay on here, but we're going to just try to put it on mute, okay? So Crystal and I, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break right now, and we'll get reconnected so that all the external noise is not coming through. So you're on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. Take a break.
Subcontractors and small businesses are very good at performing their craft. But when it comes to managing their paperwork and efficiently running their business, not so much. That is why Buchanan and Associates, a multiple award-winning supplier diversity business management, technical support, coaching, and compliance firm is here to help you. Buchanan and Associates possesses core competencies in small business paperwork and government compliance, back office management and business support, business infrastructure and organizational development, light rail transportation program management, assisting small businesses in packaging and submitting their minority, woman-owned, and disadvantaged business enterprise certifications. We even match you up with contract opportunities. Buchanan and Associates has delivered more than 7,500 hours of training to subcontractors by preparing them to become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready with the ability to quickly access key documents in seconds. Buchanan and Associates help subcontractors accurately prepare, manage, and submit certified payroll, contract compliance, and labor compliance reports to primes so that they can get paid on time without delays. If you need to meet your disadvantaged business or small business enterprise participation goals, Buchanan and Associates can help you. If you need a qualified and experienced firm to oversee your subcontractors so that you can successfully complete your projects, Buchanan and Associates can help you. We help all businesses organize and set up their company the right way so that they can formally pursue contracts. Buchanan and Associates has assisted subcontractors and primes secure more than $90 million in contract awards. What are you waiting for? Contact Buchanan and Associates today, the small business paramedic. Go to www.thebuchanangroup.net and begin saving now.
Go ahead.
And we are back to the Business Zone. You're tuned in with Christo
and Gilbert Buchanan. And sorry to all the listeners who were trying to chime in at the same time earlier. We really apologize about that. It was interrupting your signal. So we got it restructured. So we can definitely hear you, and this is great. Thank you so much for watching. And we're going to continue with our quick tips right now.
Right. So next one is your vision statement. This is number 2. So, of course, whatever your vision statement was, which is your vision statement is for you internal.
Yes.
That's your internal clock, making sure you're on track with your business concepts and what you're trying to deliver. So you want to make sure you revisit that because your vision could change because everything else is changing, right? So, and in different phases of your business, it could change because your needs may be different.
And just remember with your vision is vision. It's simple. It's just like what you see. How do you see your business and when and doing what? So I see my business doing this when over the next 5 years, doing what? Doing contract compliance, doing marketing, doing sales, whatever it is. So that's what you see in the vision.
Right, and so that's your internal barometer,
yes.
And that's your vision for your business and for you, yourself, and for your employees as well as your corporation and your organization as a whole.
Yes.
Next is your mission statement. And this is for the outside world.
Yes.
You want to make sure that you're in line so you're not creating any confusion or chaos for people knowing what you do and why you do it. This is very important in the nonprofit world because nonprofits tend to sometimes veer off of the beaten path because what happens in the nonprofit world is you need money and you're sponsored and supported by your sponsors, right?
Yes.
Your corporation, your government contracts, your whatever, your grants. So a lot of times we find ourselves as a nonprofit doing the sponsor dance and just trying to keep up with trying to keep money coming into your organization,
Right.
you lose track of your mission statement. So
Exactly.
you really need to look at it. And if you've been doing something for a long period of time in order to meet the needs and the requirements for your sponsor, you might want to go back and maybe it's time to change your mission statement or broaden it or partner or collaborate with other people so that you can stay in tune to what the value is and why you're doing what you do.
And just remember, your mission is all about your purpose.
Yeah.
The purpose. Why are you in business?
Right.
Well, we're in business to do this. And you can also state in your mission statement how you're going to achieve what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. So, in other words, if I'm going to help small businesses become business ready, then in my mission, I want to say, this is how I'm going to help them to become business ready. So you're going to do the same thing within your mission.
And if you're a nonprofit, your mission has to line up with both the people that are giving you money and then the people that you're serving. So
Yes.
you're always having to go back and look at your mission.
And what's the results?
And what the results are and the outcomes and measures. Because
Exactly.
the outcomes and measures is what the sponsor is looking
Yes.
for. You are actually looking to help service the population that you've identified. So you're kind of serving two masters, so to speak.
Yes.
And so you have to always stay on top of that. So next one is identifying your strategic objectives.
Yes.
Meaning you need to highlight the priorities and then make sure you inform that the plans will ensure delivery that matches your company's vision and mission. So if you guys are noticing, there's a trend,
Yes.
and there's a path. So it's like connectors.
Yes.
This block is connecting to this block, and this block is connecting to that block.
Right.
So you want to sit down when you've identified your SWOT, your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats, and then you want to be able to incorporate those
Yes.
into your strategic objectives, right? Making sure you're very much aware of where you want to take your organization in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years.
That's correct.
Including succession.
Yes. Yes.
And an exit plan.
Yes.
That you should be thinking about that. Because anything can happen.
Yes.
You can become ill in case of
Yes.
an emergency.
Yes.
What's going to happen to the business that you built?
That's right.
So, and then the next and crucially, you want to be able to create your SMART goals, right? So those are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-related goals that you are following and that you're establishing every beginning of the year.
That's right.
And then you go back and evaluate every 6 months or 3 months, 6 months a year. That's what I would say because things change just that quick, right?
Okay.
Next, number 5 is your tactical plans.
I like this one, Crystal.
You like this
the tactical plan. You want to put one of that in place. Now, what is a tactical plan and how do you make it tactical? Well, for example, if you're doing transactional business, you don't want to do that anymore because you're not sure how much money is going to come in or when the next customer is going to come from, then you might want to start looking at contracting. So you want to start doing contracts, and a good way of doing that is, and in order to ensure that you obtain contracts, is to put a plan together that, okay, every month I want to sit with at least 2 contract providers. I want to meet with them. I want to share with them what we bring to the table, how we can help them to achieve their objectives. And that would be a nice tactical plan.
Yeah. And also for my space, from the networking space, if you are not ready for contracts, but you do need to be in place to network to get ready for contracts, right?
Yes.
Then making sure on your calendar you're connecting with people, utilizing all your resources,
Yes.
going to very strategic networking events
Yes.
that may have those people there so you can start developing those relationships.
Oh, yes.
Because that's the first level of the action plan, right? Second level, because you've gotten your business ready for that.
Right.
Now, number 2 is how do I meet the people? Because that's really how the contracts are issued.
Oh, yes.
Is who you know,
Oh, yes.
not what you know, right?
That's right. That's
so,
right.
So that's your tactical plan. So that's putting the meat on the bones of your strategy so that it actually translates into some detailed short-term plans.
Right. And just so you know real quickly, when you meet with a contract provider to ask them what their needs are, so you can see if you can provide those needs for them. That's a very good way for you to learn about their organization and for them to learn about you as well. Because many times they don't know anything about you. They hear your business name. They might see you out there at networking events or expos, but they really don't know about you. But by you meeting with them and saying, hey, what is it you look for in small businesses? Do they have to be certified?
Right.
And what type of pain do you have that you think small businesses can solve? That's a great way for them to know a little bit about what you can do and about what you can do for them.
And also, when your capacity statement or your resume or whatever you're using is a piece of paper.
Yes.
It doesn't come live until you make it live, right? So your personality could be just that winning personality that they will even make allowances for you because they see your passion, they see your enthusiasm. Some things that didn't get to the capacity statement because you only have so much space.
Oh, yes.
I mean, if you've been in business for 30, there is no way in my capacity statement, my resume, my bio, does it cover everything that I do?
No.
Because some things I've developed along the way just based upon what my clients' needs were. So that's why you want to make sure that you're developing those relationships.
Exactly.
And collaboration is really big.
Oh, collaboration is huge.
Yeah.
Most of the contract providers today, they want to see small businesses who collaborate. They don't really care for you coming in as a single individual company trying to help them resolve their pain points. They want to see you come in as a collective. You with other small businesses saying together, this is how we're going to solve these types of pain that you have. And that's an amazing way to get in.
Right, because they may already have that relationship.
Oh, yeah.
And so they just pull you right on in because they're impressed with what they've what they've seen from you. They may have done one or two things, or you've maybe came with some information that they didn't know. So it's a collaborative and it's a sharing of information amongst each other. It's got to be a give and take.
That's right.
It can't just be one person benefiting and everybody else just, you're at the party, but nobody's serving you.
Exactly.
So you got to be a give and take. So remember that in your collaboration.
Right.
And the sixth and final one is probably the most important one is your performance management. So all that planning, all that hard work you've done, putting in your actions, identifying your objectives and your strengths and your weaknesses. Now you got to stay on track to how you're going to achieve those goals, right?
Exactly. So you have your key objectives. So now you want to put some performance indicators in place.
Right. Some benchmarks, some monitoring of the whole strategic plan. Because you might have to go back and tweak it. It may not work the way you envisioned it. Sometimes you dream about something and you get it and you're like, wait a minute, this is not quite how I envisioned it to be, right? So there's some work that goes in with this big dream that I asked for, which happens a lot when people say they want to get married. Then they get married and they're like, whoa, I don't know if I signed up for this.
Exactly.
Right. Well, you
got to start working on it.
Now you got to work on it. And then you got to monitor it. You got to and you got to make sure that you're creating, managing, and reviewing that strategy and capturing all the information, breaking down large chunks of data and information and prioritizing and making sure that the finances are on the other side. So with all of that planning, did it actually generate new revenue or does it have potential to do you have some things in the pipeline that happen because you actually put those strategies in place?
And the way I look at this, Crystal, when we're talking about performance management, I look at it this way. It's like making a pineapple upside down cake.
Right.
You probably have never made it before, so now you want to try it for the first time. So there are certain ingredients, certain recipe that you use to make the pineapple upside down cake. First time you're doing it, so you're not sure how it's going to come out. So you got to put some eggs, you got to put flour, you got to put this, and you got to put that in there. And after you've baked it, it may not taste the way that it ought to be.
You thought in your head, or like your grandmother made.
Exactly. So now you're going, what did I do wrong? So now the next time around, you decide, okay, maybe I put too much salt, or maybe I didn't put enough vanilla in there.
Right.
So next time you do that, and it may taste a little better.
Right.
But it's still not where it's supposed to be.
Right.
So every time you make that cake, it's tasting a little better and it's getting closer to where it ought to be. So maybe after 6 tries, you actually get the real taste that you're looking for. Same thing with your business.
Right.
When you're doing performance management, you've got your business objectives, and then you've got those key performances that you need to achieve.
Right, you do, and you have to. Right, you have to be able to go back, and you got to be honest with yourself.
Oh yeah, you got to be
Because
honest.
sometimes we don't want. Sometimes we don't want to do the hard work. That's what I found with a lot of our business owners. They don't want to get down in there and roll up the sleeves and get dirty. They just want the end result.
Yeah, they just want that instant,
right,
that
you
instant
can't get
result.
the end result if you ain't putting the work into it.
Exactly.
Right. So you
Exactly.
gotta. And I'm gonna say, so. This is where business coaches come in, because with us, you can bounce stuff off. Consultants can help you with that.
Yes.
And actually, mastermind groups, something that we're doing. We're going to be launching in October our mastermind groups, so that you can work with your peers and see the multitude of skill sets and opportunity, skill, service, and experience can help you put things on the table, and you have somebody to bounce it off on, right? So that you can say, see, does that even work?
And that's why you need a coach. You need a business coach.
Yeah, you
That
need
is
a business
critical.
coach. It's very critical because on the back end, your whole plan is to make money, right?
Right.
So, and you have your own pain points, like paying rent and mortgages and light bills and food.
Right.
So those are your pain points.
That's right.
So you got to take care of those pain points. And so you have to know, and here's the biggest one, and we're about to the hour, is sometimes you got to let some clients go.
You got to do that.
Yeah.
You got to do that. Sometimes you got to fire some clients.
And I actually have structured my this is version 4.50 right now. I'm at 4.50. So I actually have mine up on short-term contracts, like psychologists.
Very good.
So you can't stay in therapy for hundreds of years.
That's right.
You don't get no. So mines are like 12 weeks or 2-3 months or 6 months.
Yes.
Time frames.
And if it's not working,
it's not working.
You gotta let it go.
Right, and then I'll prepare you, and then I'll turn you over to someone else, or you should be. I help you sprout your wings, so you can fly away, and be on your own. Now you can always come back to me.
You can always come back.
Right, you can always come back, but I think you have to be able to go out there and try it, and then the relationship doesn't get abusive.
Right. Exactly.
and maybe you might need another coach in that space, so you might have to refer you to somebody else.
And that's a big part of your key performance indicators, KPI. You hear about KPIs all the time. KPI, what it is, it's a measurable value that you use to demonstrate how you're going to effectively run the company and achieve your objectives. And what is that? A KPI. Now, your KPI can be centered around maybe marketing. It could be centered around distribution, operations management, but within that you have subsectors. So in your business, you have what they call a dashboard. So on that dashboard, you may have marketing. Okay, so what do I want to achieve from marketing? Am I going to make sure my customer acquisition cost is right? How do I measure that? Am I going to be able to tell my distribution channels how effective that is? How do I measure that? So those are the things that you do in order to demonstrate your KPI. So you got to pick some areas within the business, set it up so you can measure it, and then look at the results to see if it's where you want it to be or if it's exceeding. And that's pretty much what we have to say today.
Right, exactly. So remember, guys, those are the 6 steps to creating an effective business strategy. If you need some assistance, you can reach out to myself at Crystal Mitchell. You can go to my phone number is 323-447-7272. 323-447-7272. Email me at cmitchell544@gmail.com, and I can help you out, helping you get you set and started on the right path. I have a business plan workshop. We have a mastermind group coming up, so you might want to ask me about that. Recycling Black Dollars Breakfast Mixer is on Tuesday at Denny's, right there at Crenshaw and Coliseum at 8 a.m. Come on out. We have our membership drive, and we're also putting together our 2020 resource guide. You want to get your business in there, so reach out. See you on Tuesday. You got anything happening?
And next week we've got 3 guests, and one of our guests on the show will be Shireen Rivera, and she's one of our viewers right now on the live on air. She's an author, and she's going to be talking a lot about how she has helped herself and helped other women in business within the Latino population and also within the general population. She's a phenomenal woman, a phenomenal guest, and we can't wait to have her on the show next week. And it's going to be at 3 o'clock. So for those of you who are just tuning in, the Business Zone is on every Friday from 3 to 4. And if you want to go live, you can go to morrismedialive.com, or you can just watch us on Facebook. Crystal and I, we're always here on Facebook to help you out. If you want to contact me, my phone number is 888-882-1168. That's 888-882-1168. Email Gilbert@thebuchanangroup.net, and you can get us and we can talk to you about anything you need, coach you on your business, help you with your performance measures, and help you with the effectiveness of your business. And that's all we got today.
Right. So you can also go and see the show at our YouTube channel, The Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. It'll be up probably tomorrow, or go to Morris Media Live YouTube. And so in the description, we'll put down what those strategies are, and you guys put pen to paper and let's get to work.
Let's get this going. We got to turn you guys into pros, small biz pros. That's what we're doing here.
That's what we're doing. So we're out. We'll see you next week. Have a fantastic weekend and a phenomenal week. Bye-bye.
We're out.
As a small biz pro, so we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, so we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just review the pages of my marketing plan. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just review the pages.